Good afternoon, everyone. Okay. Today we are continuing on chapter 6 in the subject of Principle of Management. This is part 2 of chapter 6. In part 1, we already discussed about the 6 elements of organizational structure. 6 elements of organizational structure. Remember that? Okay. Now we will move on to the next subject, which relates to the first topic that we already discussed. This topic is about models of organizational design, which you need to implement those 6 elements into this topic. Okay. The model of organizational design are divided into different styles. The first style we call mechanistic models, and the other one is organic models. The difference between these two, mostly traditionally organizational, using the mechanic, and the mechanic model is inflexible and tightly controlled structure that combine traditional aspects of all 6 elements of organization structure. Okay. Those create the characteristic of mechanistic models right here. The first characteristic is rigid hierarchical relationships. The next one, the next characteristic of mechanistic model is fixed duty. Okay. In mechanistic model, okay, the characteristic of it is fixed duty. Many rules, formalization, communication channel, using formalized communication channel, and using centralized decision authority in the mechanistic model. Okay. And it creates taller structure. This model, mechanistic model, okay, is the taller structure. On the other hand, when the world grows rapidly, okay, the world of business grows rapidly, some of the organizations change their design of their organization and they shift to the new style of model. We call this organic model. And the organic model is highly adaptive and flexible structure which allow it to change rapidly as required. Again, okay, the organic organization means highly adaptive and flexible structure which allow it to change rapidly as required. Okay, and here are the characteristics of the organic models, which are the first characteristic of organic model. It is collaboration in both vertical and horizontal. It also adaptable duty. In the organic model, it is adaptable duties, and it has a few rules inside the organic models. It uses informal communication to communicate in this style of organizational design, and it's also used decentralized decision authority to make a decision in this style of model. And in conclusion, the organic model is the fractal structure. So next slide will be discuss about the relationship between the structure and the strategy. And the next slide will be comparing between the mechanic and organic again. The relationship between strategy and structure. Okay, the certain structural design work best with different organizational strategy. However, based on the work of Mr. Alfred Scheller, his studies say that it believes goals are important part of organization strategy, and that structure should facilitate goal achievement. Again, structure should facilitate goal achievement. So the goals are important part of organization strategy. So it relates to each other. The importance between size and structure. This could be the example of the organization. The example of organization in between organic style and mechanic style. Based on the size. The size is the number of employees in the organization. Okay? Size of the employee in the organization. And the magic number is 2,000 employees. Remember this? 2,000 employees. If the company have employee less than 2,000 people, it can be considered as the organic model. And if the organization have employee more than 2,000 people, this organization, okay, become more mechanistic models. Okay. So the size of the structure could indicate, okay, the style of model that the organizational using as their model style. And the relationship between technology and structure. In technology and structure, because of every organization use some of technology to convert its input into output. So the technology helping the organization a lot. And for example, from this picture, okay, using smartphone and tablet could help the organization using decentralized style. Okay, and in decentralized style, okay, which one of the model using decentralized style? The organic. Okay, the organic organization using decentralized style. Why I said that? Why I say technology is indicate that organic model. Okay, because for example, using Line application or any social application here, okay, it helps in decentralized structure. It helps in decentralized structure of the organization, because the manager can make decision or ask their employee to make decision through the application, to the social media application. Okay. So it helps in that. In this picture, I also indicate about the social media app that are most popular, and this one in year 2014. Time spent in type of model apps in social media, people using social media about 28%, using communication 12%, game 9%, for example. And this is top 15 most popular social network, which I have a hyperlink and showing you. Okay. I will upload this top 15 most popular social network site for you in our Facebook group. About environment and structure, the relationship between environment and structure. Remember, when we're talking about environment, we're talking about business environment. Okay, for example, the political, the economics, those types of environment. Environment here could be stable environment. If it has stable environment, we consider this as the mechanistic structure, or mechanistic design. And the dynamic environment here, if it is dynamic, okay, we consider those as the organic structure. The stable environment is for mechanistic structure. The dynamic environment is for organic structure. Then let's move to the organizational structure and design in objective 6.3. Compare and contrast traditional and contemporary organizational design. In this exhibit, okay, this picture already indicate in your learning document. Okay. This one talking about traditional organization design. Exhibit 6-9, traditional organization design. There are three different traditional organization design. Three difference. The first one is simple structure. The simple structures here. The next one, functional structure, and the last one, divisional structure. So all of these three, okay, tend to be mechanistic in nature. All of these three tend to be mechanistic design in nature. Okay. Here in exhibit 6-9 we see summary. The summary of the strength and weakness of each. Okay. You can go through the strength and weakness of each structure by yourself. Okay. And this is the description, okay, of the simple structure. Simple structure is an organizational design with low departmentalization, and organizational design with lower departmentalization, with wide span of control, with authority centralized in a single person, and little formalization. Okay. This is a simple structure. Again, it's traditionally and it's mechanistic. The second one, functional structure. Functional structure is an organizational design that groups similar or related occupational specialties. An organizational design that groups similar or related occupational specialties. The strength of the functional structure is the advantage of economy of scale, minimal duplication of personnel and equipment, and more satisfied employees who speak the same language as their peer or as their co-worker. In functional structure, okay, again, it's mechanistic. It is mechanistic, and it's the traditionally old style version of the organization. The third one, divisional structure. This is an organizational structure that made up of separate business unit or division, made up of separate business unit or division. Each division has limited autonomy and has a division manager who has authority over his or her unit and is responsible for performance. So in this divisional structure, there are different division or different business unit which have managers control, okay, for each one. They has a manager, division manager, okay, who control everything in the divisional structure. The next slide. Okay, this one is about contemporary organization design. Contemporary organization design. This structure tend to be organic design. And there are team structure, matrix project structure, and boundaryless structure. Three of them, and those are organic design. The team structure means a structure in which the entire organization is made up of work team that do the organization's work. Made up of work team. So you need to highlight here. Made up of work team. And this team, okay, work for the organization's work in team structure. And this is the matrix and project structure. In the matrix structure, specialists from different functional department or from different division, okay, work together to complete an assigned project. they work together to complete an assigned project. When it is accomplished, they return to their functional department, or when the project ends, they return to their department. So from the picture, in design engineer, they have design group here. In the department of manufacturing, we have manufacturing group here. In contract administration, there are contract group here. In purchasing department, there are purchasing group here. And in accounting, they have accounting group. The last one is the human resource, have the human resource group. And then people from this group, maybe one or two, in the same level. Okay, work together. People from the same level, but different division or different department work together in a project. Okay. And this project has deadline. And after they end the project, they complete the project, they return to their original department. All of them return to the original department. Okay. Let's go back to, let's move to the project structure. In project structure, it is a structure in which employee continuously work on project, okay, differently from the first one, differently from the matrix and project structure. When the project ends, everybody go back to their original department. But this one, okay, a structure in which employee continuously work on project means, okay, this is the structure of the typical project structure. Okay, I will post this picture in our Facebook group. Okay, and after everybody finish or end the project already complete, they not move back to their original department because they don't have the original department. Okay, they move to the new project. Okay, with the same structure here. Move to the new project. For example, the project of creating the train in Bangkok. Okay, when they're finishing the blue line train, they move to the red line train, and then they're they finish the red line train, they move to the yellow one, for example. Okay. After they finish project, they move to the new project. Okay. This is a project structure. In boundaryless organization, in boundaryless organization means an organization whose design is not imposed by a predefined structure. Means nothing the same as we already discussed. In boundaryless organization, it seems like no structure in this type of organization. And the guy who used this boundaryless organization, the first one, his name is Jack Welch, and he is the former GE chairman, Mr. Jack Welch. Okay, used boundaryless in his organization. However, in the nowadays, all of organization, okay, using the structure, they're still using some structure in their organization, but they have the flexible structure or flexible line. in the organization. Okay, and this is the contemporary issue about organizational design. The current organizational design challenge to keeping employees connected, keeping employees connected, and to managing global structural issue. Building a learning organization, this is important one, okay? And designing flexible work arrangement. This is the challenge for the current organizational design. In nowadays business, if you can design your organization and reach this objective or reach this goal, okay, your organization seems to be more success than your competitor. And this picture is the learning organization. Mostly in nowadays, the organization seems to be look like this, and we call this a learning organization because people sharing their knowledge to each other. Okay? As we discussed about this in the Twitter company, the environment of Twitter, okay? The environment of Google, environment of Facebook. Okay. A learning organization, okay, in the center here. Okay. As we see in exhibit 6-12, this one. Okay. The important characteristic of a learning organization revolve around organizational design. This is organizational design. Okay. Information sharing, leadership, and organizational culture here. Okay. What happened inside? Okay. In organizational design, if it is boundaryless, okay, or at least you have flexible structure or flexible line in the organization, so you can share your all of your information, okay? Or the team, okay, and the empowerment in the organizational design. In information sharing here, open and accurate. In leadership is share vision and collaboration. In organizational culture, strong mutual relationship, sense of community, caring and trust. Okay. These are create the learning organization. And this is the last one, the flexible work arrangement. The first one, telecommuting. In telecommuting means your organization will allow your employee to work from home. Maybe 2 days in a week. Work from home and link to the workplace by computer. Okay. We call this telecommuting. The next one, compressed work week, which is employee work more hours per day, but fewer days per week. So in total, your employee work 40 hours per week, work 40 hours per week, but work less than 5 days in a week. We call this compressed work week. And in the organization, you can use flex time. The flex time also known as flexible work hours, which is a scheduling system in which employees are required to work a specific number of hours a week, but are free to vary those hours within certain limits. Okay. Next one, job sharing. Job sharing. Okay, you will have 2 or more employees working in the same job, same position, okay, or same assigned job. However, it's hard to find those people who are willing to do this together and have the same quality, same experience. In contingent worker, it is temporary, freelance or contract workers whose employment is contingent upon demand for their service. Okay. I will post this different meaning of the telecommuting, complex work week, flex time, job sharing, and contingent workers in our Facebook group again. Okay. If you have further question, okay, about this topic in our chapter 6 part 2, feel free to ask. Okay, you can comment under this post, or you can email me, or you can inbox me. Okay. So good luck for your midterm examination. Hope you have a good grade. Okay. See you around.